Hey guys, introducing the Harder Than Life coaching program. If you're ready to transform your business, elevate your fitness, and deepen your personal relationships, including the one with yourself, our Harder Than Life coaching program might just be what you need. This is not a generic one-size-fits-all solution. It's a tailored coaching experience designed to help you achieve your unique goals. We're taking applications now. So if you're serious about making a change, DM me on Instagram at kellysiegel.71, the word coaching, to learn more and apply. Let's grow together and truly become harder than life.
I'm Kelly Siegel, and this is Harder Than Life, a podcast about self-love, self-awareness, business, and health. We tell outrageous stories and boil everything down to simple, practical advice you can start using today. Let's get living.
Today's guest is a visionary leader in the world of spiritual transformation. Sam Believ is the CEO and founder of the LaWayra Ayahuasca Retreat in Colombia and the host of the Ayahuasca podcast.com. A former engineer from Europe, Sam has spent the last 6 years dedicated to guiding people on profound healing journeys through traditional Amazonian plant medicine and is here to educate us on it today. Please welcome to the show, Sam Believ.
Kelly, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to share with your audience.
I feel like everybody says that they're excited, but what we don't understand, we criticize. And this ayahuasca is extremely intriguing to me. Like, I have felt called to do it because it scares the bejesus out of me. So today, Sam, I want to educate the Harder Than Life listeners, as well as myself, I get to do this, about why this shouldn't scare me. So we're going to start right in and ask you the obvious question, like, what inspired you to transition from engineering to founding this ayahuasca retreat, the LaWayra Ayahuasca Retreat? That's a good story.
Good question, Kelly. So first of all, I think if I can convince you, I can convince anyone. And as you described this calling, a lot of times ayahuasca comes to you in the form of calling, which is like your friend did it, and then your friend's friend did it, and everyone just keeps telling you, and all of a sudden you find yourself in a world where everyone around you talks about ayahuasca. And I felt this kind of calling myself, and now, funnily enough, I find myself to be the messenger a lot of time for ayahuasca. So what brought me to it, as I like to say, was a mix of curiosity and quiet desperation. So I knew about ayahuasca. Many friends of mine told me about how it's amazing and how it fixed their life and showed them the way, etc. But I found myself asking, what is wrong with me? Why am I not as happy as others? Why do I have this and that, but I still don't really feel fully alive? So when I first went to did it, I also was extremely afraid. Just like you described, I was 50% sure I'm probably going to die and never come back. I've never, back then I still considered it as a drug, and I've never done any drugs before. So I was like, I don't know what was happening to me, but the calling was very strong. And I did it. And after you do it and you kind of get this big breakthrough and this revelation, sometimes you just want others to experience that, because it's an amazing feeling of being connected, is the best way to describe it. So I tried it once, and then for about a year and a half, I would just do it occasionally, like once every 6 months or so, to kind of learn more. And eventually I got really depressed due to life circumstances, and I was kind of directionless in life. So then I went back to ayahuasca, but now less of a curiosity and more of a, help me heal, help me get out of that rut. So I took it very seriously, and it did exactly that. So it took away my depression. And then eventually in one of the journeys, it answered the main reason for my depression, which was the lack of direction in life, and put me on this path on which I'm still at the moment. And that led me to starting LaWayra, and then the Ayahuasca podcast, and hopefully more things down the line in the same path.
So I've done a lot of research on ayahuasca, and frankly, we talk a lot about on the Harder Than Life podcast about the healing modalities. And I strongly, and I have not talked a lot about this, you're the first one I really am going to deep dive into plant medicines and its benefits. So I guess I just jumped the gun and I didn't ask what the common question is. There's many people that might not know what ayahuasca is. So why don't you explain to the neophyte, and somebody's never heard of it, what is ayahuasca? What is it used for? And what should be the person that wants to, that should try it?
So I personally believe ayahuasca is for everyone or almost everyone, unless you're very sick or you have like schizophrenia or health issues. It's not just for spiritual people, or it's not just for people that are focused on self-growth. It's truly a multi-tool, both for healing and spiritual exploration, and you name it, whatever you need, almost always it can kind of deliver in a very indirect way. So it's not like here I want to be rich and then you become rich. No, it will show what you can fix about yourself to then later on improve your life. But what ayahuasca is in a nutshell, it's an ancestral plant medicine. It's a brew made of two plants, Banisteriopsis capi, ayahuasca vine, and a DMT shrub, either chacruna or chagro. It's a viscous, thick, brownish liquid that you consume in a ceremonial setting with a shaman, with a crew of people in a special medicine house that's called Maloka. So there's a ceremony to it. And as you consume it, you either get visions or messages or feelings in your body where you either release something or you gain knowledge. And what it does, it's like a hard reset for your brain. Um, I'm not the kind of person that would say, ayahuasca is the only way, just drink ayahuasca and everything is going to be okay. I believe ayahuasca is that big door that you open then to your further personal growth or spiritual expression. Is just this amazing jumpstart for a healing process for a lot of people. But it's been used for thousands of years for healing purposes by the indigenous people. And it's a magical medicine. What else can I say?
No, you nailed it. That's
comes
where
to mind right now.
That you nailed it. I just wanted to make sure that people. So I've done talk therapy, hypnotherapy, EMDR therapy, plant medicine therapy. And the thing I have not done is ayahuasca. So if I do it, when I do it, I will come to you. So talk to me through what makes LaWayra unique, because the ones that you see out there is the places that are in Costa Rica. Why should I come to your place, Sam, instead of the Costa Rica common place?
Well, obviously, I'm biased. I'll recommend myself because myself I can truly trust. Well, first of all, ayahuasca doesn't come from Costa Rica. It doesn't grow there. I mean, you can plant it there, but traditionally, ayahuasca comes from Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, and Brazil. This sort of circle in northwestern Amazon. Why Colombia is great? First of all, Colombia was overlooked for psychedelic tourism because of safety issues, 80s and narcos and Pablo Escobar and all that stuff, while Peru was growing in popularity. So what happened in Peru, somehow they, I guess, kind of lost control a little bit of ayahuasca, and they lost respect to it. And it's a little bit not as traditional anymore. And also the plants are not as ancient and not as wise as they are in Colombia, at least for now, because it's growing now. So while LaWayra, first of all, I believe, especially for you, like a first timer, we just take an extra good care for first timers. I think about 70 to 80% of people that come here are first timers, just because how many people now are getting interested in the topic. So we just spend so much time educating you, like what's going to happen, how to navigate your experience, how to connect, what to do if you connect too much. Just get you comfortable. We get you comfortable with the group. We do group talks, therapy. So basically, by the time you drink ayahuasca, you can relax your ego, you can relax yourself, so you can actually let go and actually have the healing experience. Because it is a part, ayahuasca does the work, but you also have to meet it the halfway. Then we also have a shaman that's just awesome. He's an indigenous guy. He comes from the jungle. He himself grows and cooks his own ayahuasca together with his family. His dad is also a shaman. His dad's dad was a shaman. We've been working with this lineage for the last 2 years now. I worked with his uncle. I worked with his dad. The medicine music we provide is very great. And also the price, I think we are 3 times cheaper than anyone that offers anything even similar to what we offer. And that's on purpose, because my mission is try to get as many people to experience that healing in their life and have that opening in their life. So I understand that in order to do that, if I bump the price, to the industry average, then basically it would just be only for rich people, which also need ayahuasca. But I also think that it has to be accessible. What else? I mean, our team is great, and it's also a family-owned, family-run ayahuasca retreat. So you'll see my kids running around. My pregnant wife, she's always pregnant, as I like to joke, and it feels homely. You have it doesn't feel like this big commercial center. At the same time, for the last 2 years, we've been building a lot, and we have nice, sort of luxurious-looking cabins and creek and all the commodities you want to gym. For a guy like you, have a gym as well, so you can go and hit the weights. And if you ever want to come, I extend to you my invitation, actually totally free of charge, because I like you, and I think that if you like it, then maybe your listeners will also understand that it's not scary. It doesn't have to be scary. It's not dangerous. It doesn't have to be dangerous. So if ayahuasca, if it's done correctly, if it's done traditionally, if you follow all the rules, it's extremely safe. It's like people. There's a bit of a bad rap, and I think it's because people honestly just don't know what they're doing. And I guess thanks to my engineering background and very sort of meticulous approach, we managed to combine this very traditional method together with, comfort and just do things in a way that just works. And thanks to that, we have, I think, right now 420 or so 5-star Google reviews. So the reputation doesn't lie.
I don't think that ayahuasca gets a bad rep. I don't know a single person that took it. They said it was challenging. It wasn't easy. It brought up some demons. Whatever you think that we're gonna hold on. I want to just deviate for a second, because I want to really deep dive into the healing, because that's what this is about, and we all need healing. But you brought up your kids, and I see here in the notes that you're a father of 3. How old are the kids?
So I have 2 sons, 3.5 and 2, and my wife is now pregnant with a daughter. So I say 3 because obviously I'm anticipating. So finally we're going to get a daughter. They obviously live here with us, and they get to meet a lot of people that come to our retreat, which is awesome. They're very social people. People get surprised of how, because they grow up in this environment where you're in nature and you're surrounded by all these friendly people. So they're a bit different from an average city kid, but love them.
Let me make sure I understood that right. You said 3 times cheaper, but you meant 1/3 the price, correct?
Yeah. So for example, the industry sort of average for an ayahuasca retreat is $2,500-3,500. There are retreats that are $7,000 to $10,000, and we at the moment our price is $795 for a week for 4 ceremonies, transport included, food included, lodging included in a shared room. So that's very cheap when it comes to,
It's
especially like our yep.
That's cheap. What city do you fly into to get to you?
We are 1 hour south of Medellin, Colombia. So you fly to Medellin International Airport. We provide transport from Medellin. It's so it is affordable, but not because we couldn't charge more. Like, people sometimes they judge us. They think like, oh, you're cheap, or like you're affordable means you're bad. But we have people that come. There's this retreat called Rhythmia, and they charge like $10,000 for a week. And we have people come and they say everything here is better. And I have video testimonials where they say it. So it's I have it. We already had more than 5 people come from there. So it's just that I really believe in trying to make it affordable. We try and make some profit here and there, especially on like nicer stuff. Like if somebody wants to rent a cabin, they're very pretty. But I don't know. It's really hard for me because I want everyone to have it, but I also kind of want the retreat to grow. So it's a balance that I'm trying to find, because running an ayahuasca retreat is a business, and a lot of times people think that spiritual things and business, they kind of like don't go together, and that's my balancing act. I go spiritual and I go okay business, and I try to navigate that.
No, that's what people always complain about, pastors or the prominent pastors, like Joel Osteen has a private plane, and I'd rather him have a private plane and be able to create while he's flying than be in coach and not have to recharge. So it's a common myth of, and really truthfully, we want you to make money. So at $800 a week, it's going to be a tough one. But I got to tell you, I promise I will come. I will try it. 4 frickin' ceremonies sounds tremendous, but I'm sure by the time I leave here, I'll be able to walk on water. So my last plant medicine, the last 2 plant medicine journeys I was on, basically I was fed by God or source or whatever that I'm on the right path. So I've done a lot of work. It's well documented. I had a very traumatic childhood, but let's deep dive into this. So what type of healing and transformation can participants expect from an ayahuasca retreat at the LaWayra Institute?
So people come with very different intentions. The most common one is depression. People just come and say, yeah, I did my life, I achieved stuff, I work, but I don't see any meaning in it. The grass is no longer green, and there is no taste in life. So ayahuasca is amazing for that. They go through an experience. Every experience is different. I've had more than probably 100 ceremonies by now. Not a single one was the same. Funny enough, my last one was actually same message as you received, that I'm on the right path, but I'm distracting myself. So people go through a process which is always unique. Sometimes it might include, going back to past and realizing there's some kind of trauma, processing it a little bit, purging it, releasing something from your body, energies. Sometimes it comes in the form of purging. We can talk about that as well. People are worried about that part of work with ayahuasca. Sometimes it can come in the form of realizations, some information coming from somewhere else, God, the plant, spirit, your subconscious, whatever is your belief system. But the information comes, and it's always good information. Then the important part is integration. When you will get after the retreat, everyone is, as you say, floating on water, but in reality, like it feels everyone is so enlightened, so inspired. They are connected. And then when you go back to your everyday life, the challenges will start happening. So this is where integration takes place, and we guide people on how to maintain that mental state. And actually, ayahuasca will give you homework that you need to do. So it might tell you, like, this person is not right for me, or maybe I should have more of this in my life and less of that. And if you do the homework, and if you actually change yourself together with this flexibility that it gives you, that's been proven scientifically, increasing the BDNF makes your brain more flexible. It allows you to get rid of bad habits and get good habits. That brings me to other topic. A lot of people come here with addiction problems. Ayahuasca is really helpful with that because it's a great tool for also detoxing, letting go of all those stuff. And most importantly, most addictions are based on some kind of trauma and like a pain that you're running away from. And if you address that pain, sometimes addiction kind of goes away magically. We have people that come here for something else, and then when they go back home, they realize they stopped drinking without even wanting. That's another common one. Sleep issues, anxiety, and so that's on like a healing side. A lot of time people just come, they want more clarity in life, they want to grow. Some people come for spiritual exploration. So our motto at LaWayra actually is connect, heal, grow, and it kind of sums up everything you can get with ayahuasca. First, you come, you connect to the plant, you connect to yourself, connect to the group, connect to the place. Then you heal physically, mentally, and then inevitably you grow. Because sometimes people ask, you've done ayahuasca so many times, why do you keep drinking? At first, you drink to heal yourself and sort of fix issues. Then you drink it to grow and also help others. So yeah, I think I feel like I'm all over the place with my answers.
It's all good. So connect, heal, grow. The plant medicine journey that I went on, it wasn't ayahuasca, it was cacao, much less. So we started off with intention. So you set out an intention of what you want to try to accomplish, and then, which sounds like it's connect. And then you take the medicine and you start the healing. And what I would say is you pull down your ego and things just come up. You basically you pick down your walls and things just start coming up, and they answer themselves, which is then you do the integration. You say what came up and what you're going to do next, which is the grow. Is that's what my experience was, and this was at a private residence. Is that the same thing that somebody would expect in an ayahuasca ceremony, except that it's outside under a covered roof? Or walk me through your typical ayahuasca experience at your place.
Mm-hmm. So cacao is something very different. So it's a beautiful ancestral medicine as well, but it's kind of like comparing a slingshot with a machine gun. Cacao is really nice. I would say I would do ayahuasca and then work with cacao to integrate, because it's very mild but very beautiful. I'm a big fan of this medicine and other medicines that luckily the indigenous people created and preserved for us. What happens generally, let's say you come to a maloca. So maloca is it's like a palm roof, very beautiful wooden structure. It has a lot of fresh air, but it's also kind of enclosed, so it's comfortable. You come there and we start with the meditation. So that's after all the preparation we did for the first 24 hours, all the talking, all the instructions. You come there, we start with meditation and the breathing exercise, so kind of to relax you even more, help you focus on your intention. Then the taita comes. Taita is a Colombian name for the shaman. He comes, he brings the medicine, he goes through this ritual where he sings the Icaros. He uses LaWayra, that's this shamanic tool, to kind of enchant the medicine, put the good healing energies into it. He uses tobacco as well. Then we use salmeria, it's an incense to cleanse the space. And then he starts calling everyone one by one and giving you the medicine. He will look at you, and then he will pour the cup accordingly to whatever he sees, because shamans, they're magicians, they see stuff we don't see. And then you take the cup, you drink it, and you go lie on your mattress or sit by the fire, and you start the introspection process. So you might feel something in your body as you start to connect, some heaviness, and then whatever your process is. As I'm saying, it's like 100 different ways. But let me describe one of my last experiences, right? I took my cup, I lay down, I started feeling heaviness in my body, a bit of a different slight psychedelic vision started to come up very softly. Music started playing. We play special medicine music. Our Taita is also a magician with musical instruments. It's very beautiful. And then I started feeling, just seeing stronger visions. And my intention was, am I on the right path? What should I do? And it was basically a very religious, very angelic experience where I could see some kind of like, how do you call it, entities, and they were like talking to me and they're saying I'm on the right path. Basically, my understanding from that was like, I'm doing a good job, but that's not enough. I need to reach more people. And this is why I'm here. That's one of the reasons. Because we host on average 700 people a year, which is great, and we change a lot of people's lives. But it feels like our society and our world is sort of moving in the wrong direction. It needs a strong intervention. Ayahuasca is one of them. I don't want to sound like a fanatic or something like that, but it's just this tool that seems to wake people up. And then further on, you can take whatever path you want, be it meditation, yoga. But I think. I'm going out of your answer. So basically, then sometimes during the ceremony you might purge as well, which means that you might vomit or you might feel desire to have diarrhea, which seems like something that you wouldn't want to do. But in reality, when you go through this experience through ayahuasca, you realize it's not just vomiting. It's actually, it takes something, like stuck energies, whatever, from your body, somehow moves them to your stomach. And when you release, you feel so much lighter. People say like 10 kilos lighter. And then the ceremony winds down and you see your visions. Then you might journal and store some of it. Then a Taita performs a spiritual cleanse on everyone, and you go to bed. That's a very quick summary. It lasts about 6-7 hours.
Whoa, that was my next question. How long does it take? 6-7 hours. That's and they only drink the medicine once, right?
No, you can drink up to 3 cups, but mostly we serve 1 or 2 cups. It depends on what Taita says. And it also doesn't mean that you will be deeply psychedelic for 6 hours. It might be like 1 hour sort of slow come up, and then 2 hours of deep, intense realizations and inner work. Then it might be slow release, and then a bit more, catching another wave. So I would say like really, really deep, you maybe 2-3 hours. The rest will be come on, come down, and everything else in between.
So you mentioned a little bit of the preparation before. How should someone prepare for a retreat? And then the second half would be, talk to me about integration, because to me that's the most important part. So 2-part question: what should they do before, and then what are they doing after?
We can make an entirely separate podcast episode just on the integration, which I actually did on my podcast. So when people get to prepare, first of all, you need to follow a certain diet for about a week, 2 weeks, if you can. No red meat, not try to eat a bit less salt. Don't consume milk products, nothing spicy, onion, garlic. No fermented foods, no citrus fruits and stuff like that. We when people book, we send them the full breakdown. Most importantly, for about 4 weeks before, you got to stop antidepressants. That's the most dangerous part. So when you hear the bad stories about ayahuasca, it mostly involves people consuming ayahuasca together while they're on antidepressants. That's very dangerous. And then about 2 weeks before, stop drinking, stop consuming weed. Just basically you prepare and cleanse your body, start setting intention, realizing what it is you want to work on. And then when so that would be the preparation. Obviously, there's much more detail to it. And what integration is, you're going to have this beautiful ayahuasca experience full of information, full of knowledge, full of realizations. How do you bring it back to your life? So to integrate means to make whole. So you have this experience and you have your life experience. One is here, the other is here. So you got to kind of like bring them together. We provide people with integration journals. So it's a special journal designed to save as much as you can on paper. So you write, you introspect, and you save as much experience as possible, because it's so much information you can't forget. And then when you go back home, you start, for example, you realize that you want to change this. You start doing the work. You start changing things, and also most importantly, focusing and maintaining that mental state you have achieved, because it's easy to be spiritual where you're surrounded by beautiful, lush, green countryside and everyone is drinking ayahuasca, so people are loving and supportive. But what about you going back home and somebody cuts you in the traffic and starts screaming at you? This is the moment where you need to remember everything you learned. For example, like, we're all connected, and this human being, the only reason he's angry is because somebody else made him angry, and realize that deep down he's as good as you are, and kind of like letting things slide and just allow good things to come in, and not the bad things. But that's like a very, very simplified explanation.
You're doing a beautiful thing, and I can't express enough how the things that he's skirting around, everything I've read, I've done a lot of research on this, is very true. Like, you're going to go there with issues and you're going to walk away with answers. And it can be as broad as, why do I feel unlovable? Why do I feel not whole? Why do I drink so much? Why do I not engage? These are all answers that could be answered $1. So for $800, man, what do you charge for down there? Is there anything else that they would have to pay for? Are there massages, or is there what else is chargeable down there? Because I want to think of an offer that we can blast out to the listeners right now. Little too, Sam. We're in the 20s for self-improvement right now in the Apple self-improvement podcast charts, and we are in the 40s for education. So we are blowing up. This is going to get a lot. I want to throw an offer to the listeners, but I want to understand, what it is. At $800, it's so affordable. It's the cheapest therapy. Let's call it healing. This is the cheapest healing you'll ever freaking buy. But is there something else that we can, if they message you and they say harder than life, what can we give them special?
Before I get into that, I want to sort of prepare the listeners if they do want to come. And that's what you just said, everything you research is the mindset that you need to have when you're going into this work is, ayahuasca is going to help me It's a great tool, but it is a tool. You need to do the work. So when you're coming into this work, realize it's not a magic pill. So it will show you what to do. It will absolutely make you feel better. But if you show up here saying, ayahuasca is just going to do all the work for me, better not come. You have to be serious. You have to have set your intention. You have to have understanding, and this is what we're trying to achieve here with this podcast. And then you come and you are ready to meet the ayahuasca halfway. If you do that, the change it can provide you in your life is just enormous. My own example included, and like thousands of people that have come to our doors. Regarding an offer, you mean like a bigger, like a discount or something like that?
Yeah, I don't want to discount the main price because it's so affordable and it's the best money to be spent. I was thinking maybe is there a dinner or something that we can sponsor or something, or just something that I'm going to drop your social handles next, and I'm going to tell people to reach out to you, follow you, which is at LaWayra. It's at LaWayra _ ayahuasca. So it's LAWAYRA _ AYAHUASCA. That's his Instagram. And then I bet you can find a lot of stuff. I haven't looked at the YouTube, but I'll bet you there's a lot of good stuff at LaWayra, LAWAYRA. I bet you get some great stuff there. So if you message Sam on Instagram, he'll think of something and just message him that you heard this on Harder Than Life, and we'll put something together. But I'm telling you let me put what he just said in English. Just come with an open mind. This is not Ozempic. You're not going to be able to take this and get skinny. But if you just go there with an open mind and just a desire to want to heal, to find something. Now, guys, this is the hardest part about healing. It's when it comes up, is you just got to let it go. Whatever that trauma is, whatever the medicine brings up, you got to say, hi, trauma, and let it go. Don't try to bury it. Don't try to fight it. Don't try to resist it, because what you resist will persist. Just allow it to go, and this will be the best experience of your life. And I promise I will do it, and I will document the entire thing, and we'll have you back on. So I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Here's my offer for your audience. Even though we're very affordable and most is included, meaning we're going to pick you up in Medellin, take you here on a bus, that's included. Your bed in the shared room is included. Food is included. The only thing that's not included as of now is a massage. So there is a possibility for people to get a massage. So yeah, if you come from Cali, send me a message. Let me know you come from Harder Than Life podcast, and we will give you a free massage. Not myself, but we have a professional masseuse. So how about that?
I appreciate it very much, and I tell you what, that is you just made it like I can't say no. The only reason why I didn't go to the competition in Costa Rica was because of the cost. It's like, am I really going to spend that kind of money to go and dig into the depths? Or worse yet, I've done so much work that there's a very good chance it's probably not going to bring anything up. So you just took down that barrier to entry. So I really love it. And I've been to Colombia. It's such a beautiful country. It's a great reason to come back. So let's dig into the tough thing. What are some common misconceptions about ayahuasca that you'd like to address that you haven't already?
I talked a little bit about the one that says ayahuasca. People think ayahuasca is dangerous. So talk about that a little bit. If you follow the instructions, if your shaman is a real shaman, if your medicine is a real ayahuasca, it's not dangerous at all. So if you're relatively healthy, which means that I'm going to take care of the shaman and the ayahuasca because I drink it myself. I wouldn't risk my own life, so I wouldn't risk yours. And if you do all the instruction and if you're relatively healthy, it's safe. Another one, the common fears is like, I'm going to go crazy. Once again, we host 700 people a year. Not a single crazy person as of yet, except myself, but I was already crazy. I'm just kidding. What else? Ayahuasca is only for spiritual people. People think like, oh, it's only for the hippies and stuff like that. No, Like I have amazing results with the 45-year-old plumber from Canada and a butcher, whatever you are, veteran. People come from all walks of life, as young as 18 and as old as 76, and everyone gets their result. Everyone's process is unique, but the result the same. So it's not, you don't have to wear certain kinds of clothing or have crystals. That's not what it's all about. My mission is to make people understand this is just a great tool that will open and start your healing journey, and you don't need to be anything before that. After that, you can explore many different things and many different tools, but you can come into it whenever if you feel the calling, and you don't need to be any special kind of person. So what else?
Let me just jump in there, because at the end of the day, I think, being from the outside looking in, the only thing that I see people being afraid of is what it's going to uncover, because that's people love their familiar misery. Not many people like change, so it's almost impossible to come to this and not leave enhanced. Keep
Yeah,
going.
that's an amazing topic, Kelly. Sorry. So basically, people are afraid to uncover something, whether it's childhood trauma or some sexual abuse or something like that. But it's the analogy I like to use is, let's say you have like a big pus-filled blister on your hand, and it doesn't really hurt much unless you're touching it, right? And it's like you're afraid to go do a surgery, open up, and heal it. But meanwhile, it's been sitting there for years, and it's leaking all these toxins into your body and just making your body miserable. When you have trauma, there's a part of your brain, there's like percentage of your brain capacity that's just dedicated to cover it up in layers and layers and like hide it from yourself. And it costs a lot of energy, and it costs your happiness and many other things. So don't be afraid to come and uncover it. And yeah, it will be a little painful for a while, but then you can actually clean it up and work on it, where you no longer have to waste all these resources to just keep it there. So we had some people that uncovered stuff, and we also had some people that successfully worked through it. We also have an integration coach, a therapist that you can work with after the retreat is over. That's for extra cost, but it's also affordable. It's like $50 per session. That can help you to integrate better and to work through the trauma, like be it sexual trauma or whatever comes up. Don't be afraid to confront your healing. It's kind of like, I don't know what other analogy I can do. It's like you have a fire and that.
I'll give you a better.
Yeah.
I'll give you a better analogy. It's like working out. I'm a big guy, so it's like working out. When you go into the gym, nobody wants to go to the gym. But when you go into the gym and you work out, you strain your muscles and you tear your muscles down, and they get bigger. So it's hard, but you get the results. Everything we've done in life that has been rewarding has been hard to start. Every single one of them. So I get it, scary, but you're not going to be alone. You will be with a bunch of group of people that are all there with you, going through the same thing. The shaman is there with you. There is a support system like you've never seen. So it is the best money you will ever spend. I assure you, I have read all about it, and when I'm going to go, I'm going to do it. But in case you are a little bit nervous, again, he's got this podcast. So go listen to the podcast. You said that you have a whole episode on integration. So what could the listeners expect from your ayahuasca podcast, and how does it specifically help educate people about the plant medicine?
Okay, so I'll just address one thing you said, that you're not going to be alone. Number one, there will be a team of facilitators. Like we have one facilitator per every 2-3 visitors. You'll have a shaman, and most importantly, the group will also be with you. Like everyone is there to support everyone. The culture of mutual support and sharing is just amazing. I like to say the best way to make friends as an adult is to come to an ayahuasca retreat. But most importantly, ayahuasca will be with you. For example, when you uncover a trauma, it's not going to just like scare you and like, here you go, and you go figure it out. It will start leaking small pieces here and there and allow you to process it. This medicine is magical. It's like somehow it has an intelligence. I don't know where it's coming from. We don't really know how it works, but it works. And regarding the podcast, what I do is I take success stories from the visitors. So, for example, somebody came here and they quit drinking. And they messaged me 6 months later. I'm not drinking. I'm like, let's get on the podcast. Let's talk about it. Or somebody quit marijuana, or somebody their depression went away, and I interview them. So you can hear their stories. You can hear their healing journeys. I also interview experts, PhDs. Doctors and people that are experts in the field, and writers. I think if you look at top 10 books on Amazon on topic of ayahuasca, I already interviewed half of the writers that wrote those books, and probably going to get more. So if you're ready, if you feel the calling, just book the retreat, come over, and you'll learn yourself. And if you're not ready, just listen to the podcast. You can get good insights, and you'll start to form that worldview. It's important to understand, because then by the time you come, you're ready and you know what to do. So education is what we're trying to do here, and I'm sure Kelly as well.
So what's next for your LaWayra Ayahuasca retreat and your mission in the world of plant medicine?
Number one, I love this country of Colombia. As you mentioned, it's so beautiful. Colombia is a beautiful, beat up country with all this traumatic past. What I would like to do is to keep growing the topic of ayahuasca, help other people get into it, and rebrand Colombia from cocaine to ayahuasca. So those are two. Let me talk about coca for a moment. Coca is a plant of power, same as ayahuasca. It's an amazing medicine. It's a plant that indigenous people use to build monuments because it gives you energy, it takes away your hunger. It's a superfood. But we as Westerners came over, ruined it, made cocaine, and here we are. Same thing happened to cacao. Like you did this cacao ceremony, beautiful, amazing. But you can also mix it with milk and lots of sugar and give yourself a diabetes. So it's important that we sort of ground ourselves in that tradition. But what I'm saying is that those two plants, they grow in the same part of the world. They grow in the same jungle. And what's happening now, because ayahuasca is growing in popularity, I think 5 years ago or so, I set on this goal. And now, not that I'm achieving it myself, but it just slowly starts to happen. My taita recently told me that it's now more profitable to grow ayahuasca in the jungle than to grow coca. So it's slowly changing. And hopefully one day people will come to Colombia not to hurt themselves, but actually come here to heal themselves. And it's paradoxical. Like a lot of veterans come to Colombia for the wrong reasons, women and the drugs. But what they really need, if they would come to ayahuasca, they can heal that pain and then go back to their normal life. So that's my main mission. And as to LaWayra, what we're trying to do is not have it as just an ayahuasca retreat. I want to build a community. Our second motto for our other project, which is the community, is you come for ayahuasca and you stay for the community. The idea is people, when they drink ayahuasca, they let go of all this stuff they carry. They just become so lovely and so nice to be around, and you just don't want to leave. Sometimes the bus comes and it keeps beeping for like half an hour. Nobody wants to leave. And so I want people to start staying here and just living here, working here, forming a community just for people that want to come and spend a few months here, do some ayahuasca, meditation, yoga, heal themselves, and then go back to their day-to-day life better and healthier, and hopefully just spread that, because it is infectious. When you are in a good mental state, you want others to be there as well.
Yes, it's beautiful. So when I was in Colombia last, I was there for what you called all the wrong reasons. I was there for a wedding, but I had a blast. I was still in my partying days. It was prior to the launch of the Heart and Life at brand, and I ripped that country up. I did some cool recreation drug called Tusi. What the heck is that?
I don't know much about recreational drugs. My approach to what you call drugs is I only take stuff that's like at least 1,000 years old. So I tried mushrooms as a medicine, weed, but it's also pretty ancient. But I can ask around for you when you come next time. I'll get some information.
I'm all into the healing now. I've put all that past me, and it's a beautiful country, some beautiful things to see, but I had a blast there and I want to come back now and experience it, being present of sound mind and sound body. So let's dig into that. What personal experience with ayahuasca has had the most profound profound impact on you personally?
So it's a good question because I don't know the answer. I've had many deep experiences with ayahuasca where trauma been addressed and I purged some stuff out of me. But in reality, what it did to me outside of the ceremony, it just kind of like, let's say I was going this way and it shifted my path just by like 1 degree. But in years that have passed, it completely changed my life. Basically, what it did to me, somehow it made myself believe in myself, and I just start to if I want to do something, I just like instead of me saying like when, I say instead of me saying like if or maybe, I say like when. So it's like not if I'm going to build this, but when am I going to build this? And this assurance just stuck with me, and I don't know where it came from. I don't even remember the exact moment, but I think that's what changed my life. And but I can tell you many funny or interesting journeys and trips and visions. But in the end of the day, we focus a lot on the ayahuasca experience. But it's kind of like if you come to a surgical room and you focus on your surgery, like it's almost irrelevant. The importance is what's going to happen after. How do you feel when you healed? How do you feel when you release that stuff? You know, people say it's like 10 years of therapy. It's like 20 years of therapy. I've never done therapy, so I don't know, but I feel pretty good.
So you mentioned on your podcast that you share memorable stories or breakthrough moments that your retreat participants have. What's the most memorable one that you can share with us quickly?
The breakthrough. So what breakthrough means is like discovery and like understanding something, and boom, big connection. What comes to mind is like negative stuff, but there was a girl that came from Germany, and she realized that her grandma sexually abused her. It's not a nice thing to realize, but she was always, all her life, she was like, why am I so negative towards men? Why am I reacting to this? Why am I? And it all kind of just made sense. And ayahuasca slowly fed her this information and allowed her to uncover it. And then she got much better. She came back home, did some therapy, got over it, realized that her brother was also abused. And she took all her family and brought her here to the retreat. And they all went through this family trauma together. They healed it, overcame it. It was a beautiful process. And I interviewed them for the podcast as well. So that's just one that comes to mind.
Prior to coming to LaWayra, to your resort, sorry, I get so excited. My freaking brain works faster than my mouth. Prior to her coming, this was all repressed. She had no idea about grandma.
She had no idea. She only had symptoms, but she didn't know what was causing it. So it just kind of showed it. Okay, here's what happened. And I know people are afraid to like discover something like that, and it's not that common. Let's say it's like 5% of the cases, but it's just a great example. A lot of times it's smaller stuff you don't remember. There can be like this little thing that happened, or somebody told you something, and it just sits there in your subconscious. You're like, I'm not good at math, and it's like, I'm not good at math. This is your belief system. It's like, then it goes back and it's like, oh, there's a little kid when you're like 6 years old told you that, and you just carry it with you your life. Like, it's hard to go back there to your subconscious so deep and rework those things. And it's it's like hundreds of them. So that's the ayahuasca work. You go there, you release it. That's like a, let's say, emotional and mental side of it. But there's also a spiritual side of it. That's the work shaman does. Sometimes, there's, whether you believe it or not, I didn't believe it at first. I'm an engineer, a huge skeptic. Everything, I always approach it with lots of questions. So, but now I believe there is a spiritual side to healing. There is an energy body that we all have. And a shaman can also remove some stuff from that, some, bad stuff that you've been accumulating through your life. Yeah.
I got to tell you, I have a harder than life coaching program. So I coach a lot of people, and I talk to a lot of people, interview a lot of people. Call me naive, but I run into a lot of people that I think have repressed traumas. They're repressing something, and I believe them. They cannot, at least they can't express what's going on in their body. So I think that's a bigger market than what you think. And I would implore, and I'm not a doctor, but this is just through my 5 years of this journey, so to speak, or this crusade, this hard life crusade, is If you're not sure, you're a prime candidate. If you're not sure what's going on in your body or why, you're a prime candidate for this. And this sounds, and this is going to be a funny question to you. My question is this: how has your multicultural background influenced your approach to plant medicine and healing? But before you answer it, let me tell you what I see. There is absolutely no salesman in you. You could tell you're from Europe, and everything is complete honesty. And what you see is what you get. You're completely monotone. The entire time I'm thinking, boy, the listeners probably aren't going to identify with this. But if you listen to this, he told you bombs. This is influential, heavy stuff. And he just gave it to you completely even and monotone and honest, and didn't lie to you for 1 minute. Didn't try to make it sound good. And in fact, I would argue you bring up the negatives, which I don't see those negatives. I'm not hearing those negatives in the circles that I'm running in. So what is your, let's call it, limiting beliefs from having come from Europe and over and now in the jungle, so to speak?
I mean, yeah, my story is pretty interesting because English is actually my third language and Spanish is my fourth language. So when I came here in Colombia 8 years ago, so I started the business in two languages that are relatively new. And my background, I'm an ethnical mix. I was born in Latvia, but I consist of 5 different nationalities from ex-Soviet Union. So I'm equal part Russian, Latvian, Dagestani, Moldavian, Ukrainian. So, and in the end, I turn up looking more Colombian than I am Latvian. People notice that a lot. But about my monotone presentation, I think people that understand, and if they look at the video, maybe they'll see it in my eyes. Like my inspiration is real. I'm not a good salesman, but think about it as the best tasting, amazing candy, and affordable candy that's in like a plain paper wrapper, right? It's a bad marketing. Maybe I need to improve it. Maybe you can teach me. When you come here,
you missed the message. The message was this: you're as honest as the day is long. I read people really well, and you've sold me. This is gonna be very, very good show. People are gonna download it like crazy. People are gonna share it. I'm telling you, if you've anybody that is looking to heal, please share this episode. Sam, and I can just tell by who you are and how you are and your culture, your ethnical background. Latvia doesn't even exist anymore, does it? It's integrated fully with Russia now, right?
No, the other way around. It used to be part of Russia. Now it's independent.
Oh, good. Are your parents still there or no?
My mom lives in Ireland. My dad is still there. Most of my family is all over the place. We're kind of like nomadic, we all just spread out and everyone's on a mission. Like my sister also has a cool project, and like I don't know where we all get this from, but yeah. So I am who I am. I mean, definitely. What can I say? My life and my story have allowed me to meet a lot of people, understand a lot of stories, and just what I do best is simplify things. I just take a complicated thing of ayahuasca and I'm just like, here it is. Here's 1 hour here. You can understand it now. And that's it. It does no longer seem something unattainable. And also,
hold on a second. What engineer makes something simple?
A good engineer will do that. Basically, if you can explain it to a 5-year-old, then you're a good engineer or scientist or whatever. If you don't, then it means you're just hiding something between the big words.
So the word that you're searching for and that I just came to me, and it's a big word, it's overused, but this is 100% you. Authenticity. You're authentic as they come. I can see it in your eyes. Guys, I love this man. I love what he's doing. Let's take a little switch. We got a few minutes left. What do you do outside of running LaWayra to maintain your own mental health and spiritual well-being? Like, what do you do personally?
So personally, what I do, number one, I drink one ceremony every month, just to kind of be on this path of growth and improvement. So like not like a retreat every month, just one ceremony. And then I created this healing container of LaWayra for the people that come here, but I also created it for myself. So if it's a gym here, that's also a gym for me. If I made this beautiful natural water pool, I go and I swim there. If I created this walking path, I go and I walk it. So I don't really leave much from here. I spend a lot of time with my family, with people. Um, so I do, from the practices that we preach here at LaWayra, we do yoga. I participate sometimes. We do meditation. I work with meditation as well. So I guess you can say I practice what I preach. Not always, unfortunately, because life happens and business is busy. But the beauty of it is that it's a container I created that I cannot escape myself. So I keep coming back to it, and then I go to maybe I feel a bit down. I go to the word circle, everyone's sharing, and I'm like, my problems are not that big actually, and it helps me as well. And you learn from others more than you learn from yourself. Sometimes it's easy to say like, no, I'm perfect, and then like he's imperfect. And then when you share in a group, you're like, okay, it actually applies to me. And then through other people as mirrors, you kind of form the worldview. I think there's just so much wisdom in many people having their own experience and then sharing it, that like it's like 5 years of college in like 1 month. It's a very, very intense learning curve when it comes to emotions and personalities and many more things.
So I'm going to add another word: compassionate. That's what's coming across to me. You said healing containers. This is a passion project for you. You drink your own Kool-Aid. As I wrote down, you practice what you preach. You just said it. So I'm picking it up. I'm picking up what you're putting down, and I'm loving it, Sam. If you could describe your life purpose in one sentence, what would it be? I just said that this is your purpose, but what is it in your own words?
I would like to make the world a better place through this work that I'm doing. I don't know how, but that's what medicine keeps telling me. I hopefully I'll find a way.
Oh, you know what? I have a friend that has an acronym of HOPE. Help one person every day. How about heal one person every retreat? Hoper.
I mean, we're doing that already and much more. I would say we heal 70% every month, but medicine keeps telling me that's not enough. So what I'd like to figure out is some kind of way how to, I don't know, get to more people and like make them understand it. I'm not going to do it myself. Hopefully people that come to our retreat get inspired and start their own little projects around the world. And, my dream would be to wake up in a world where yesterday everyone had ayahuasca. Because if you're here at the retreat, when you will be here, Kelly, not if, but when, you'll see how awesome everyone is. You get a group of people and everyone's kind of like, they're kind of angry and a little bit sad or whatever they're carrying. By the end of it, everyone's like floating around this love. And I would just want to see that not just here, like in this little microcosm, but like you go outside and everyone's friendly and loving. And I don't know other ways to achieve it so quickly. And so this is why my dream would be that. And also to maybe come to the place where instead of us being like, what the hell is ayahuasca, to when's the last time you did ayahuasca? So for example, let's say you have it happened to meditation. We went from like, what the hell is meditation, to like, do you meditate? So that could be a good change. But once again, everything together, we as a society are being trained. All those tools that come to us now, meditation, yoga, plant medicines, you mentioned EMDR, different practices. It's coming to us now because there's also a time of crisis, and we just got to use them to overcome it, and then hopefully become a better society. So I don't really have it all nicely packaged in one maybe good slogan, but this is hopefully you get across. I get across my message, what I'd like to happen.
I hope everybody's picking up what I'm feeling. You know what? I'm looking here and I don't see any website to book. Is it ayahuascapodcast.com, or is there something for LaWayra?
It's LaWayra.com, or if you Google ayahuasca in Colombia, you will find us as well, because our main website still is ayahuasca in Colombia, but LaWayra links to it. So the name of the retreat is LaWayra, but the website is ayahuasca in Colombia. That's the original name. I kept it because it's good for the searches. But if you Google ayahuasca in Colombia, you'll come up with us, and the site will have a bunch of LaWayra logos, and ayahuasca podcast is if you want to learn. And our handle everywhere is LaWayra. So YouTube LaWayra, Facebook LaWayra, Instagram LaWayra_ayahuasca. So LAWAYRA.
So, is there anything I haven't asked you that you feel compelled to share?
I think you did a good job on unraveling this pretty complicated topic. Yeah, I'd like to say thank you. I think you're a very cool guy, very loving, and made me feel good about myself. So that's all I can say. And regarding the message, I would like people to keep an open mind and try and let go of this mistake that 50 years ago put ayahuasca in the category of the drugs and not the medicine, because it's been medicine for 5,000 years and it's only been called a drug for the last 50. Let's kind of leave it in the past and actually start using this medicine, because, yeah. And then if you don't want to do it, wait for Kelly to do it, and then he'll tell you his own experience. So,
is there a time where it's less busy or more busy? So, is there a peak season, an off season, or anything like that?
It's unpredictable. It's generally 1 month in the spring and 1 month in the autumn, sometimes 1 month in the summer, but they keep going all over the place. I'm trying to figure that one out myself, but actually June is shaping up to be pretty quiet, so could be a good time for you to come, guys.
Awesome, Sam. Appreciate your time, guys. Rate, share, listen to this again. Head over to ayahuascapodcast.com and try it out, man. Healing is cool. Thank you guys for listening. Love you all. Till next week.
Please rate and share this podcast. I'm active on all social platforms and love to hear from my Siegel supporters. Each and every episode is sponsored by my company, National Technology Management, the easiest and best IT company to do business with, delivering peace of mind with technology every day, even simplifying cybersecurity. Visit trustntm.com for more info. Until next week, be harder than life.